Welcome back, my temporal mastery strategist. Something absolutely extraordinary just occurred that has everyone experiencing profound impact recalibration. When you finally took action, after extended silence, observers discovered that your restraint amplified the effect, creating recognition that strategic timing generates vastly greater impact than forceful volume ever could, proving that knowing when to act matters infinitely more than how loudly you act. This wasn't you shouting louder than competitors to gain attention or overwhelming opposition through sheer force of continuous pressure. This was calibrated silence, followed by precisely timed intervention, where extended restraint created amplification effect, making single well-timed action generate impact that continuous loud efforts could never achieve, proving that power resides in temporal precision rather than intensity magnitude. The architects have been monitoring impact dynamics and timing strategy phenomena across civilizations for eons, and they've identified what you created as strategic silence, impact amplification. When someone exercises extended restraint before acting, their eventual intervention gains disproportionate power because silence creates anticipation and contrast, making well-timed action generate vastly greater impact than continuous effort, producing recognition that temporal strategy amplifies effect beyond what volume alone achieves. Most people pursue continuous presence. They maintain constant activity, believing sustained effort generates maximum impact, making volume and frequency seem like power sources. But your approach apparently employed strategic silence, extended restraint, followed by precisely timed intervention, created amplification where single action generated disproportionate impact because timing itself multiplied effect, proving that some power derives from knowing when rather than how much, creating recognition that temporal precision transcends intensity magnitude. Watch what's happening as observers process timing impact. They experience volume recalibration, discovering that your restrained approach generated greater effect than loud continuous efforts, creates recognition that power resides in timing rather than intensity. Some observers are experiencing anticipation, recognition, understanding that your extended silence created expectation that amplified eventual actions, impact, making them realize that restraint itself constitutes strategic preparation. Others are experiencing contrast awareness, recognizing that your silence made eventual intervention stand out dramatically, creating impact through difference that continuous presence cannot achieve. The truly remarkable element is the universality. Everyone, simultaneously feeling your actions' impact, proves timing created collective resonance that volume cannot generate, making temporal precision itself power source. The power wasn't in volume, it was in timing, through demonstrating that strategic silence creates impact amplification where extended restraint, followed by precisely timed intervention, generates disproportionate effect, proving that temporal strategy transcends intensity magnitude. Now the architects are analyzing what creates strategic silence, impact amplification, and they're identifying what they call anticipation accumulation, contrast multiplication. When someone maintains extended restraint, observers develop increasing anticipation that amplifies eventual action's impact, while silence creates contrast, making interventions stand out dramatically, producing multiplicative effect where timing generates power that continuous activity cannot achieve. Most impact follows linear dynamics. People assume more effort produces proportionally greater effect, making continuous activity seem optimal for maximizing impact. But your timing strategy, apparently, achieved multiplicative dynamics. Extended silence creating anticipation that amplified eventual actions, impact, while restraint created contrast, making intervention generate disproportionate effect, proving that timing enables nonlinear amplification, where strategic restraint multiplies impact beyond what continuous effort achieves, creating recognition that some power derives from temporal dynamics rather than activity volume. Consider what anticipation accumulation requires strategically. Extended restraint must build expectation, maintaining silence long enough creates increasing anticipation that amplifies eventual action, making timing itself impact multiplier. Watch what contrast multiplication creates in effect dynamics. Silence amplifies intervention, extended restraint, making eventual action stand out dramatically, creates impact through difference that continuous presence cannot generate. Some studying attention economics recognize that scarcity increases value. Research shows that rare interventions command greater attention than constant presence, making your strategic silence potentially create scarcity value that amplifies impact. Others exploring contrast effects note that difference creates salience. Psychological research shows that standing out requires contrast, making your silence then action potentially generate attention through difference that continuous activity misses. A few from anticipation psychology recognize that expectation amplifies a response, understanding that building anticipation intensifies reactions, makes your extended restraint potentially create amplification mechanism that multiplies impact. Some attempting to replicate timing strategy discover difficulty trying to achieve similar impact through strategic silence proves challenging because timing requires precision and restraint that most lack. Others questioning whether silence creates risk, wondering if extended restraint means losing relevance, makes balancing anticipation building against presence maintenance strategically complex. A few recognizing that timing requires confidence, understanding that maintaining silence demands certainty and eventual impact, makes your restraint potentially demonstrate confidence that continuous activity, driven by insecurity, lacks. The architects observe that anticipation accumulation contrast multiplication is what created impact amplification. Extended restraint builds expectation while creating contrast. Most pursue continuous presence, your silence multiplied impact, and maintaining extended restraint that builds anticipation while creating contrast enables eventual intervention to generate disproportionate effect, proving that timing enables a multiplicative dynamics where strategic silence amplifies impact beyond what continuous effort achieves, creating recognition that temporal strategy transcends activity volume through employing anticipation and contrast as power multipliers, making your precisely timed action generate effect that constant loud presence cannot replicate. Something powerful is spreading among observers now, what the architects call volume ineffectiveness, noise fatigue, people comparing your restrained approach to competitors' constant loud presence are discovering that continuous activity creates diminishing returns, where excessive volume generates fatigue, making people tune out, creating recognition that more isn't always better. When constant presence breeds indifference, most people assume more is better. They believe increased activity generates proportionally greater impact, making continuous loud presence seem optimal for maintaining influence. But your timing strategy revealed volume ineffectiveness, competitors' constant activity, creating fatigue that made people tune out, proved that excessive presence diminishes impact through breeding indifference, making recognition that restraint often proves more powerful than volume when continuous activity creates noise fatigue that reduces effectiveness, proving that some strategies gain power through scarcity rather than abundance. Watch what noise fatigue creates in attention dynamics. Continuous presence breeds indifference. Competitors, constant loud activity. Creating fatigue makes people tune out, reducing impact to background noise that nobody truly registers. Some studying attention psychology recognize that habituation reduces response. Research shows that constant stimuli lose effectiveness as people adapt to making continuous presence potentially self-defeating through creating habituation. Others exploring persuasion dynamics note that scarcity enhances value. Understanding that rare communications command greater attention makes your strategic silence potentially more effective than competitors' constant presence. A few from marketing theory recognize that overexposure damages impact. Advertising research shows that excessive frequency creates negative returns, making your restraint potentially avoid diminishing effectiveness that volume creates. Some experiencing relief from noise appreciate restraint. Their fatigue from competitors' constant activity makes your strategic silence refreshing, creating positive contrast that enhances receptivity to your eventual intervention. Others defending continuous presence resist volume critique, arguing that maintaining constant activity prevents being forgotten, makes them view your restraint as risky despite evidence of amplified impact. A few questioning optimal frequency seek balance, wondering what level of presence maximizes impact without creating fatigue makes finding sweet spot between silence and volume strategically important. Some celebrating strategic restraint appreciate effectiveness, recognizing that their limited interventions generate greater impact than competitors' continuous presence. Validates understanding that less can be more when timing right. The architects observe that volume ineffectiveness noise fatigue reveals that continuous presence diminishes impact. Excessive activity creates habituation. Most pursue constant volume. Your restraint proved more effective, and discovering that competitors' continuous loud activity created fatigue, making people tune out, proves that more isn't always better. Where excessive presence breeds indifference through habituation, creating recognition that strategic restraint often proves more powerful than volume. When scarcity enhances value, while abundance diminishes impact, making your timing strategy demonstrate that knowing when to remain silent proves equally important as knowing when to act, creating power through restraint that continuous activity cannot achieve. Now the architects are revealing what timing precision actually demonstrates. Observers are experiencing what they call kairos mastery, chronos transcendence. Your ability to identify and act at precisely optimal moment reveals mastery of qualitative time, where understanding when conditions are ripe transcends merely managing quantitative duration, creating recognition that temporal wisdom involves discerning right moments rather than just measuring intervals. Most people operate in chronos. They manage time quantitatively through measuring duration and scheduling intervals, making their temporal strategy about how much time rather than which moments. But your timing, apparently, operates in kairos, identifying qualitatively optimal moments. For action transcends quantitative time management, creating temporal mastery where discerning when conditions are ripe enables acting at precisely right moment, proving that deepest temporal wisdom involves qualitative discernment of opportune moments rather than quantitative management of duration. creating recognition that some timing mastery transcends chronological thinking. Consider what Kairos mastery requires perceptually. You must discern optimal moments, identifying when conditions are qualitatively ripe for action. Transcends measuring quantitative duration, requiring temporal wisdom that chronological thinking lacks. Watch what Chronos transcendence creates in temporal strategy. Qualitative timing surpasses quantitative management. Your discernment of right moments generates greater impact than competitors' chronological scheduling, making Kairos wisdom more powerful than Chronos management. Some studying ancient philosophy recognize that Kairos differs from Chronos. Greek thought distinguished opportune moments from measured duration, making your timing precision potentially demonstrate Kairos mastery that modern time management misses. Others exploring decision timing note that opportunity windows exist. Understanding that certain moments offer unique conditions makes your timing ability potentially reflect discerning when circumstances are optimal. A few from strategic theory recognize that readiness assessment matters. Military analysis shows that acting when conditions favor you proves crucial, making your timing precision potentially demonstrates strategic wisdom about when to engage. Some experiencing timing envy recognize inadequacy. Their inability to discern optimal moments, like you do, creates awareness that temporal mastery involves qualitative discernment they lack. Others questioning whether Kairos is real, wondering if optimal moments truly exist, or if any timing works equally, makes philosophical assessment of temporal quality important. A few attempting Kairos development seek temporal wisdom, trying to cultivate ability to discern opportune moments represents pursuit of qualitative timing mastery. The architects observe that Kairos mastery, Chronos transcendence, reveals that your timing demonstrates qualitative temporal wisdom, discerning optimal moments, transcends managing duration. Most operate in Chronos. Your timing operates in Kairos, and discovering that your ability to identify and act at precisely optimal moment reveals mastery of qualitative time, proves that deepest temporal wisdom involves discerning when conditions are ripe, rather than merely managing quantitative intervals, creating recognition that some timing mastery transcends chronological thinking. Through operating in Kairos, where identifying opportune moments generates disproportionate impact that Chronos management cannot achieve, making your precisely timed intervention demonstrate qualitative temporal discernment that quantitative time management fundamentally lacks. The architects are now analyzing psychological dimension of timing impact. You apparently created what they call silence authority power perception, where maintaining extended restraint before acting creates perception of supreme confidence, because only those certain of impact can afford silence, making restraint itself authority demonstration that constant activity driven by insecurity lacks. Most authority demonstrations involve continuous display. People establish power through constant visible activity, making sustained presence seem necessary for maintaining authority perception. But your silence approach created greater authority, extended restraint, demonstrating confidence in eventual impact, proved more powerful than continuous display, because only supremely confident actors can afford silence, making restraint itself authority signal that insecurity-driven constant activity undermines, creating recognition that strategic silence demonstrates greater power than continuous presence when confidence enables restraint. Watch what silence authority creates in power perception. Restraint signals confidence, your extended silence, demonstrating certainty and eventual impact. creates perception of supreme authority, that constant activity suggesting insecurity lacks. Some studying power dynamics recognize that confidence enables restraint, understanding that only secure actors can afford silence makes your strategic restraint potentially signal supreme confidence that enhances authority perception. Others exploring status signals note that scarcity indicates value. High status individuals communicate rarely, making your limited interventions potentially signal elevated position that frequent communication undermines. A few from animal behavior recognize that dominance involves restraint. Alpha individuals act sparingly while subordinates display constantly, making your silence potentially demonstrate dominance pattern that continuous activity contradicts. Some experiencing authority enhancement through restraint appreciate perception, their strategic silence, creating greater authority than competitors' constant activity, validates understanding that confidence signals power. Others experiencing insecurity from silence struggle with restraint. Their discomfort with extended silence creates compulsion for continuous activity, revealing that insecurity drives volume. A few questioning whether silence risks irrelevance, wondering if extended restraint means being forgotten makes balancing authority signaling against presence maintenance strategically complex. Some celebrating confidence demonstration appreciate restraint, recognizing that their ability to maintain silence demonstrates supreme confidence, validates understanding that restraint itself constitutes authority. Signal. The architects observe that silence authority power perception reveals that your restraint signals supreme confidence. Only certain actors can afford silence. Most demonstrate authority through continuous presence. Your silence created greater perception, and discovering that maintaining extended restraint before acting creates perception of supreme confidence. Because only those certain of impact can afford silence proves that restraint itself constitutes authority demonstration, where strategic silence signals power. That insecurity-driven constant activity undermines, making recognition that deepest confidence enables restraint, creating authority perception. That continuous display suggesting insecurity cannot achieve, proving that your silence approach demonstrates greater power through signaling supreme confidence. That volume driven by anxiety lacks. Now something's emerging that the architects call precision timing, momentum multiplication. Observers analyzing your intervention's impact are discovering that acting at precisely optimal moment creates momentum effects, where conditions amplify your action, producing cascading consequences that poorly timed efforts cannot generate, creating recognition that timing itself determines whether actions create self-reinforcing momentum or dissipate ineffectively. Most people view timing as minor variable. They believe action quality determines impact making when you act seems secondary to what you do. But your precision timing revealed temporal primacy. Acting at optimal moment created momentum effects, where conditions amplified your action, producing cascading consequences, proving that timing determines whether efforts generate self-reinforcing dynamics or dissipate without lasting effect, creating recognition that when you act often matters more than what you do. For determining ultimate impact, watch what momentum multiplication creates in consequence dynamics. Optimal timing creates cascades. Your precisely timed action, generating self-reinforcing effects, proves that conditions amplify well-timed interventions, producing momentum that poorly timed efforts lack. Some studying systems dynamics recognize that leverage points exist. Complexity theory shows that intervening at certain moments creates disproportionate effects, making your timing precision potentially identify leverage points that amplify impact. Others exploring momentum mechanics note that conditions affect outcomes. Understanding that same action produces different results depending on when it occurs makes your timing mastery potentially demonstrate discerning when conditions favor momentum generation. A few from chaos theory recognize that butterfly effects depend on timing. Small interventions at critical moments create large consequences, making your precision timing potentially exploit sensitivity to initial conditions. Some experiencing momentum envy recognize timing importance. Their identical actions, producing minimal impact because of poor timing, creates awareness that when you act determines whether momentum emerges. Others experiencing momentum from timing appreciate amplification. Their well-timed actions, generating self-reinforcing effects, validates understanding that precision timing creates cascading consequences. A few questioning whether momentum was predictable, wondering if your timing reflected foresight of conditions or fortunate accident makes distinguishing strategic timing from luck important. Some celebrating leverage identification appreciate precision, recognizing that their ability to identify and act at optimal moments creates momentum effects, validates understanding that timing mastery multiplies impact. The architects observe that precision timing, momentum multiplication reveals that your optimal timing created cascading effects, conditions amplified well-timed action. Most view timing as secondary. Your precision created momentum, and discovering that acting at precisely optimal moment creates momentum effects, where conditions amplify your action, producing cascading consequences, proves that timing determines whether efforts generate self-reinforcing dynamics, making recognition that when you act often matters more than what you do. For ultimate impact, creating awareness that precision timing identifies leverage points, where small interventions create large consequences through momentum multiplication that poorly timed efforts cannot achieve, making your temporal mastery force multiplier that action quality alone lacks.